Hello folks, this is Sullla once again. You're listening to another League of Legends video, and this one's going to be featuring Jungle Volibear. Yes, Jungle Volibear has really taken the competitive gaming scene by storm, and he has been popularized by Gambit Gaming, and has emerged as really a pretty strong jungling option. So in this game, I'm going to be playing as Jungle Volibear, and alongside me is Terrible Bedhead playing as Morgana, that Jesse is a Spy playing as Thresh, Varus Nox playing as Tristana, and Uza Z, or Usaz, Usa Z, I think I'll go with, playing as Elise. Then on the other side, we have the real Joe Breezy playing as Blitzcrank. We have Trey2323 playing as Vayne, Talio playing as Vladimir, Valhalla 27 playing as Hecarim, and Wanted Pyro playing as Zyra. So, as I said, Jungle Volibear is something that's really emerged recently. Everybody used to think of Jungle Volibear as being kind of like a joke pick, sort of like a troll option of what you could play if you just wanted to screw with people on the other team. But, as I said, it has been popularized by Gambit Gaming, the former Moscow 5, and it's something that's spread to the competitive gaming scene. And as it turns out, in the current makeup of League of Legends, Volibear is a pretty decent jungler. He offers, well, I mean, sort of his biggest thing is he serves as what we could call a damage soak. He's really good at soaking up damage in a team fight using his passive, which I'll talk more about later. But he clears decently fast. His ganks are not that bad, particularly when he has red buff. And he scales decently in the late game. Now, the Warmog's nerfs did hurt him. So that was one of his core items. But, you know, he seems to be relatively decent option, and he fits into a lot of team comps. So that's what we're going to look at in this game. What we have going on right now, though, is this is a planned invasion of the other team's jungle. Both teams have pretty decent level 1s. Both teams have pretty decent ones, but our team does have a stronger level 1. Wow, I didn't even realize this. When I played this game live, I had no idea that they went and tried to rocket grab in the brushes there. We had no vision of that happening. Anyway, though, so our team is looking to come in here and invade, mostly because we want to try and deny the blue buff to Hecarim, if at all possible, because that would really set Hecarim far behind. So anyway, here we go. Here comes the invade. I'm leading the way as Volibear. We've got a Morgana right here. We need a ward in the brush. Their team's going to ward first, but there's the Dark Binding right onto Vayne. She's going to flash away, but I will flash after her. And that claw to the face will go ahead and pick up first blood. And now we're on chasing after Blitz. He's going to flash out, but another Dark Binding hits onto Hecarim, and that's going to be a double kill for our team right there. I was actually frantically trying to select Volibear Q, and apparently I misclicked in the fight every time I tried to use it. So what I wanted to do was grab somebody and fling them as Volibear, but never actually did that. By the way, we also should have had a ward tossed down in here immediately by that Jesse is a Spy. That would have helped a lot. But anyway, a huge win for my team, going 2-0 in that level 1 fight. We're 1,000 gold ahead, and that's a big lead at the 2-minute mark. And now I'm going to head over here and try to start clearing my red, and just proceed around to clearing the jungle. So, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Jungle Volibear, shall we? I'm going to go ahead and show you the lanes. Usa Z in top lane, playing as Elise against Talio, playing as Vladimir. In mid, Terrible Bedhead, who is really picked up both of those kills in the level 1 fight with some nice Morgana bindings. Anyway, Terrible Bedhead against Wanted Pyro, playing as Zyra. In the bottom lane, Varus Nox and That Jesse is a Spy, Tristana Thresh against Trey2323, and the real Joe Breezy, Vayne, Blitzcrank. And then in the jungle, Valhalla is jungling as Hecarim, but has been set very, very far behind by losing his early blue buff. I'm level 3. He is still not even level 2 yet. So as I said, a big play there to take his blue at level 1. Okay, so what makes Jungle Volibear work? Well, he basically he relies on his W here. This is sort of his core skill, and he uses this while jungling. The passive is he gets attack speed with each attack. Stacks up to 3 times. I believe it starts at 10% and goes up a little bit with each point you put in the skill. So this is what allows him to auto-attack quickly. He can clear the jungle camps relatively fast. It's basically passive attack speed. And then when his frenzy is up, he can go ahead and take a bite out of the enemy, and that deals a percentage of bonus health. So this is the reason why people stack lots and lots of health on Volibear, because his bite with the frenzy deals more damage when you when you stack health on him. It stacks off of bonus health, not his natural health. So this is why you build things like the Warmogs, like Sunfire Cape, and so on and so forth. That's why these items are particularly good on Volibear. Anyway, I'm going to come in here and look to gank middle lane. Terrible Bedhead has led with a Dark Binding. I'm a little bit slow in getting there. I'm about to fling, and I'm not going to get the fling off. Wanted Pyro gets a nice flash, but the flash is now down in middle lane, and that's always a big deal. So I came into that fight just a little bit late. If I'd been there maybe 1 second sooner, I think we would have had that. With a fling and with red buff, I think we could have secured the kill off of that. There's that fling, by the way. So other stuff on Jungle Volibear, I mentioned that his W is really nice because it gives him passive attack speed. Junglers always want attack speed to help them clear camps faster. Where's the attack speed? Right here, it's at 0.82 currently. I run attack speed reds on nearly all junglers, and I'm using them here with Volibear on this particular jungler rune page. So anyway, that is sort of the thing that you start out with. You get his frenzy stacks up, get the attack speed, gives you that passive attack speed, and then lets you go ahead and take a bite out of crime. For anyone who remembers the old McGruff commercials here in the United States. But anyway, so Frenzy works really well. It scales well with Madrid Razor. This is sort of the core starting item on Volibear. Go ahead and just get the Razor. You don't need to upgrade this to a Wriggles. The idea is just that you've got that main passive where every hit against minions and monsters, 25% chance to deal the bonus magic damage. So you just want that. You don't need to upgrade it to Wriggles Lantern. I mean, you can. It's not terrible, but the Razor itself is fine without upgrading it further. So anyway, that is what works with Frenzy. His other skills, his E is also quite good at clearing jungle camps. When you hit this, it deals magic damage to nearby enemies and slows. Minions and monsters are feared. So it does not fear enemy champions. Only minions and monsters get feared, but it does slow enemy champs. So this only works immediately around Volibear. It's not a ranged attack. You walk up to someone and you hit them, but this is really useful when clearing jungle camps. There it is. See, because the fear effect comes in, you get, what is it, 2 seconds, I think? 3 seconds. Oh, wow, 3 seconds. Okay. So for 3 seconds, you get the enemy camps just sort of wandering around in terror, and while they're doing that, they're not attacking you. So it's really nice. It's like right there, now I can go ahead and I've killed the big Wraith before it even attacks me. So tends to complement Volibear's skill set pretty well. Stack up Frenzy first, then Majestic Roar second. 1 point in Q is all you need. So let me go ahead and take a look at that skill, shall we? Rolling Thunder drops down to all fours. You get bonus movement speed. You get bonus movement speed when you're moving towards an enemy champ. And your next attack flings the target behind him. So the best comparison is it's like Singed Fling. It picks up and throws them behind you. So you speed up and you fling an enemy that's behind you. Anyway, we'll see that in action right here. Here comes a nice gank from Valhalla. He knocks that Jesse as a spy back. So Thresh, it goes super low. Is he going to fall? He's being shielded with the Lantern. Are they going to finish this off? Exhaust comes out low. Here now we're going to turn around and try to come into the fight. Varus Nox is going after Vayne. I'm going to be focusing on Blitzcrank. There is the fling. Actually puts him in range of killing Thresh. We're not going to get Vayne. She's going to limp out on virtually no health, but are going to be able to pick up that kill on Blitzcrank. So again, came in, and that counter gank came out really nicely. I think that they should have been able to get Thresh there. I think that was a little bit of a misplay from them. I think that they probably should have been able to get that kill. Meanwhile, in middle lane, Terrible Bedhead has picked up a kill, and oh, the Zyra passive, almost enough. Goes down to 100 HP, but not quite. Comes up just a little bit short. And Valhalla actually gets very low there as well, is trying to hold this tower. So we noted, hey, guess what? So just after 7 minutes, that means that their blue has respawned. But guess what? We just killed their bottom lane. Well, we killed Blitz. We forced Vayne to back. Hecarim's chunked. He can't come back. Mid laner Zyra's dead. So that means a free blue steal. And poor Hecarim is going to lose out on his blue once again. So I'm going to grab that. And Blitz is going to get here, but oh, just not quite in time, sadly. So I'm going to walk out with my blue. And poor Hecarim is now very, very far behind indeed. In fact, if you check out the gold total, he is, what, about 800 gold behind? Yeah, about 800, almost 900 gold behind. So even though in the minion kills, 37 to 22 might not look that bad, but he has now missed his blue buff twice. And if you're consistently getting those steals, then that puts you really, really far ahead as a jungler. Didn't even plan that. It's just that we were able to counter gank that fight in bottom lane. Bottom lane was either dead or chunked. Mid lane was dead. jungler was really low, so that was just a free opportunity to take blue, and was able to get that. That was actually suggested by one of the viewers on stream as I was playing this, so thank you, Spreakaway. It was indeed the right call there. Alright, other stuff on Volibear, just to finish up with his skill set here. Thunderclaws is his ultimate. Causes all his basic attacks up for 12 seconds to deal bonus magic damage that chains to nearby enemies. A little bit like Chain Lightning in Diablo, for those who've played that game. Very similar to that concept. Not the most impressive ult in the world, just basically anytime you're fighting, anytime you're in sort of an engage, pop this on. It's on a short cooldown, 80 seconds, not a long cooldown at all. So just pop this, bonus magic damage, nothing all that spectacular, but it's pretty decent in duels. Volibear is actually not bad at dueling, 1v1. And it's actually pretty good in a team fight too because of that chain effect. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, they're going in for a kill. Vayne has gone down. Varus Nox is now going after this. And oh, is he going to be able to escape? And oh no, not in tower range for that last hit. Makes it out on 85. I swear I thought he was in range. He was going to take one more tower shot, but ultimately did not get hit by the tower. And then finally, on some champions, their passive doesn't matter that much, but on Volibear, his passive is very much a part of his gameplay. So I have to highlight this. When Volibear drops below 30% health, he heals for 30% of his max health over 6 seconds. So we'll come back to that. There's a big fight going on here between Morgana and Zyra. I'm going to flash in here and get the fling, and the final tick of that Dark Soil is going to get the kill on Morgana. I'm not sure that I needed the flash there. I just wanted to make sure that Morgana didn't die. And as it turned out, it worked out okay. We were able to go 1 for 0 and actually now up 6-0 overall in the game. That was not anything planned. That was just being in the right place at the right moment and coming in there at the back end of that fight. Anyways, so once again, I'm going to come in here, and I said, hey, you know what, we just killed mid laner, let's go and do dragon, but instead, team decided to go and dive behind a tower in bottom lane. The exhaust came out, a well-timed exhaust right there, from the real Joe Breezy, exhausted Trist at just the right moment, and they're going to pick off both of those kills, and guess what, now this fight has gone really, really badly, and I'm going to have to back off from dragon. So that was a bit of an over-optimistic dive. It actually helped their team out quite a bit. They got quite a bit of gold off of that play, by the way, and they did not have dragon warded at the time. I do not think they had any vision of me doing that, so would have been a safer decision to, instead of diving, just to have all 4 of us come and take dragon. If we had mid and bottom lane come down and take this, we probably could have gotten it without opposition. But oh well, it didn't work out. They tried to make an aggressive play in bot, and it just didn't quite work out for them. So oh well. A little foolish of their team not to take the dragon, though. They surely could have gotten it on the back end of that. Almost certainly could have gotten that. So anyway, dragon for neither side, and it's about a 2,000 gold lead on the game. Was trying to talk about Volibear passive again. When he drops low on health, below 30%, he heals for 30% of his maximum health over 6 seconds. And then this does have a 2-minute cooldown, and the tooltips will show you when it is off of cooldown. So this is the other reason why you build lots of health on Volibear. And wow, the wolf camp totally disappeared there for a second. This is the other reason why you build health on Volibear, because he heals for 30% of his max health. This is really useful in team fights. He will just start healing like crazy when that passive goes off, especially once you start to get some health built up. Really, really nice ability. It is on a 2-minute cooldown, so you want to try to fight while the passive's up, and you want to try to avoid fighting while the passive's down. A little bit like the Anivia egg, for those who are familiar with Anivia, when she goes into her egg and then goes through rebirth. Alright, so once again, I am just down here chilling in bottom lane, and here comes a gank in bottom lane. So I need to get down here. I'm going to break off clearing that camp and run into this fight. Thresh is going to get very low. We're not going to be able to save him. Are we going to be able to do anything in bottom lane, though? By the way, here comes Morgana into the lane, so keep an eye on that. I am going to turn around, and I actually do not fling anyone. I probably would have used flash to fling someone, but it was not up at the time. So my fling is on cooldown, but a great binding is going to hit there from Terrible Bedhead. That's going to be 1 kill. Now I'm going to go in and start tanking this tower, and watch. The Volibear passive is going to trigger right now. It's going to go off, and I'm going to start healing. That's going to allow me to soak up all that tower damage. Oh, Varus Nox is going to survive with 30 HP. And we're going to clean up that fight. It's actually a triple kill for Terrible Bedhead right there. But I was able to sit there and just soak up damage on the tower, which allowed Morgana and Triss to go in there and clean up the kills. So even though that initially looked kind of bad, we're able to counter-gank that beautifully. Really good Morgana play coming in there from Terrible Bedhead. He got the binding on Valhalla's Hecarim to start that fight, and then he was able to pick up 2 more kills for 3 total with his ultimate. Now their blue is up once again, and they are not in a position to fight for this, so I'm going to smite it. Zyra tried to pick that up, but I did have smite up. I went ahead and stole their blue once again. Another nice binding, and now Thresh is kind of in a weird position, but they had no vision. They didn't know he was there, and that just is a spy. We'll be able to walk out of this. So once again, no blue buff for their team. Not going to be able to take that blue. So poor Hecarim has now been denied his blue 3 times in a row. Now I'm going to come back and finally clear this camp, which I broke off earlier. So yeah, if you see a fight breaking out, you know, if you're at the double golems and you see a fight breaking out in bottom, stop doing the camp, go help your team. I can't say how many times I've seen that happen. People will just keep clearing a camp instead of going and helping the team. By the way, though, one nice play that Valhalla makes here is our blue is respawned, and he goes and steals the blue here, which was very nicely done. This is the first blue that he's been able to get all game. We had no vision of this while it happened, but that was a really nice play to go recognize that that blue was available for the steal, and to go ahead and claim that since he was denied his own blow. So that was quite nice on his part. Anyway, I'm just finishing up another clear. I'll take this opportunity to talk a little bit more about the skilling order. I think I mentioned this before, but you want to max his W first. It gives him passive attack speed. It lets him clear the jungle faster. Also increases the damage on that bite. Here at max points in the skill with 5, what is it? It's 260 flat, and then 15% of bonus health. So as you continue to stack more health, it's only going to continue dealing more damage. Then after W first, you want to skill his E second, because, let's see, it does increase the slow amount. It starts at 30%, and it looks like it goes up by 5% with each point in the skill. And of course, it's just useful for clearing camps. It's area of effect damage, AoE, so it's useful for clearing out camps too. Also helps increase his clear speed. And then, as I said, 1 point in Rolling Thunder, 1 point in his Q is fine. You don't really need more points in this. And then, of course, more points in his ult whenever they're available. Now, we've got a little bit of a fight breaking out over here. We have a binding that's hit on the real Joe Breezy, and now Morgult is going in. It's a good exhaust, though, but it's still not going to be enough to stop that Morgana ult from ticking. And now the box is going to trap poor Vayne and an exhaust. Trey is going to go down. Now, I am catching Zyra on the back end of this fight. I do have red buff here, so it's just a matter of me catching up. There's the slow. I've also popped my ultimate. Now I'm just waiting for Fling to come off cooldown. There it is. Going to toss Zyra above my head. And that's going to be a kill. By the way, Volibear passive ticking. Look at all that health regenning. 27, 27, 27, 54, 54, 54. I was ignited there. That's why I was only getting 27 back. But yeah, Volibear passive allows you to just tank that damage. Just sit under the tower, soak up that damage. And so we're able to pick off another kill at the tail end of this. With nobody near Dragon, I don't have to come down here. I am just going to shove this mid lane, and the rest of the team's going to grab Dragon. Again, there's no threat of them stealing it. We just killed their team. So the rest of the team will claim that in a fight. I'll keep pushing this lane. There we go. There is the E in order to get that fear effect. And there we go. Going to shove it into the tower so that in the hopes of denying some of that farm to the enemy team. What is his E called? Majestic Roar. I love the name, Majestic Roar. I actually had no idea what that skill was called. So Rolling Thunder, Frenzy, and Majestic Roar. Very nice, very nice. Anyway, my passive is now on cooldown, and it doesn't show here in spectator mode, but while you're playing as Volibear, you do get a counter of how long until the passive is off of cooldown, which is quite useful, and you should keep an eye on that while playing. Okay, so itemization time. I said you want to get the Madrid's Razors on Jungle Volibear. You don't necessarily have to upgrade that to a Wriggles. You can if you want to, but you're usually fine with just the Razor. Next item I rushed was Locket of the Iron Solari. It's just a really, really useful item on just about any support or most junglers. You see a lot of the pro teams rushing this, multiple sets of this, in fact, being rushed on a lot of the pro teams. The health, the armor, health is great on Volibear. Armor is great, it helps you jungle more easily. Cooldown reduction, health regen, and the shield is a really useful active as well. It's just a great item. Word is it's going to be nerfed in an upcoming patch, and that's true. It should be nerfed. That's not a mistake on Riot's part. It's you're seeing this being built constantly. The only reason it hasn't been nerfed yet is because it kind of hasn't trickled down to low elo play yet, largely because of the active. Anyway, we are going to catch 4 of them here, and this is actually kind of a 2v4, but the Dark Mining is going to hit onto Hecarim there, and then I'm going to take a bite and get that kill with the Frenzy right there. So we actually are going to pick up that kill, and now Terrible Bedhead is continuing the fight. He's going to pop his ultimate, and that's going to take take the rest of their team very, very low here. So even though it looked initially like a questionable fight, we were able to get Hecarim. The binding hit. As soon as the binding hit, it's easy for me to get my fling off. And now we're going to push on this tower, and their team has to be careful because this tower is very low. They did have Vladimir come down, but all we really need is a Dark Binding to hit, and we can go in and engage on this. They only have 3 members of the team here. By the way, Usa is applying pressure on top. He's doing exactly what he should do. He should stay top and continue to pressure that so that someone has to go top. See, Talio's Vlad is going back up there. So we're not able to get the tower, but we did suck a lot of pressure mid. Here's 4 members of their team around mid, and oh, guess what's up again? Well, that blue buff's up again, so we're going to go ahead and look to steal the blue for the 4th time this game. Can just keep on stealing this. And let's see, is my smite up? Yes, it is. I'm going to smite it. I'm going to go ahead and claim that. Now we're going to look to go ahead and grab Blitzcrank. It's not the best fling. It could have been much better there. I'm going to try to chase this down. He is very low. There's Volibear passive ticking again, all those 57s. And Tristana auto attack will pick off that kill on the tail end of it. Zyra plant will block the Dark Binding. So we do get the blue buff, and we're going to go ahead and clean up 1 kill in the process too on the Blitzcrank. So another successful fight for us, and now we are going to look to shove this middle lane. That tower's low. We, let's see, what there's not really anything else to do on the map. We're a little low to be trying to take on Baron, but we can go ahead and use the minions to get a good push on this tower. Vlad's back at base. Vayne is reviving. Blitzcrank just revived. So it's a 4-on-2 here in mid temporarily. And they have to be careful because, again, a Thresh Hook, a Morgana Binding, anything of that will allow us to engage. I'm going to run in. And there's the Binding followed by the Fling again. We've made good use of that combo. Trish jumps in on the back end of that. And we are going to pick up a kill onto Hecarim. But at this point, we're pretty low. Volibear passive is not off of cooldown. It is still, what's the little tooltip say? Volibear has recently regenerated health and must recover his strength. So Volibear is currently recovering his strength, and without that passive up, I would prefer to avoid team fighting if possible, just because I'm much, much tankier when I have it. And their team is going ahead and getting some push on this mid tower, which is a nice play. By the way, Usa's coming down here and looking to steal red. Also a nice decision. So anyway, itemization I talked about. I talked about the locket. I actually did not use it in that last team fight, and that was a little bit of a mistake. The next item that I went for, it would depend on the team. I could look to go for, say, a Sunfire Cape if they're very AD heavy, because health and armor on the Sunfire Cape. I would go for that, but their team is actually very magic damage focused. They have double AP, Vladimir and Zyra, so a lot of magic damage. Even Hecarim deals a decent amount of magic damage. His W is magic damage, if I remember. Yeah, Spirit of Dread is magic damage. So their team is pretty heavy on magic damage, and what that means is I'm going to go for Runic Bulwark instead. Runic Bulwark, more health, more armor, more magic resist, another very useful team aura. So I'm rushing that as now sort of my 3rd item here, just because of what their team had. Again, I would have gone for a different item if they were AD heavy, but they're not. They've got a lot of magic damage. So Bulwark is a really nice item to get, and it's something that I'm going to look to go towards. In fact, Thresh is also building a Runic Bulwark as well. He's got the building towards Aegis, but you know, that's not a bad thing. We can go for double Bulwark. Anyway, right there, Terrible Bedhead just picks up 1 kill immediately, and now poor Blitzcrank is in trouble. There's the Fling, gonna reposition him, and then I will get the execution with that Frenzy Bite right there. Volibear passive has not quite triggered yet, so I will still have that up if we want to keep fighting. And right now, the way is open to keep fighting. There's the locket usage for me. I'm going to fling Vlad. He is going to get in the pool. The binding will hit instead onto Zyra right there. Not sure that Zanya's Hourglass was entirely needed. Varus Nox will jump in the background and knock Vlad back. He will get the kill, but he will die for his sins. Going a little bit too aggressive right there. Volibear passive did trigger in the middle of that fight. And the pull onto Hecarim. He's going to get knocked back by Thresh. And the Dark Binding just barely misses. So we'll not be able to clean up that kill. But we will be able to take this middle tower. And we will be able to rotate from there down the Dragon, which has just respawned. And this game has just been, by the way, top tower goes down too. Usa stayed top, which was the right decision. We did not need Elise in that mid fight. The correct decision to stay top and keep applying pressure. Keep forcing someone up to that top lane. See, look what this pressure does. Vayne, Hecarim, Blitzcrank, all running towards top lane. And what this does is it means free dragon. So, I mean, that's what pressure will do for you. Anyway, Vayne gets there a little bit early, so Vayne is going to get there a little bit before the rest of the team. And Usa's going in after this. Watch, there is the repel, I think that's called. There's one kill onto Vayne. Now in comes Hecarim and in comes Blitzcrank. Vlad is on the way too, but the Ignite is ticking and Hecarim's going to fall down too. So yeah, double kill 1v4 apparently. Apparently, double kill 1v4. Not quite. It wasn't for the entire time, of course. But that's when you know that the game is really well and truly starting to snowball out of hand. This game is just really getting away from the other team. 23-5 in kills, 12k gold lead. What is it? 5-0 in towers. I believe we have both dragons, and yeah, it's just snowballing really hard at this point in time. And this one is just, at this point, it's really a matter of my team screwing up to lose at this point versus their team really being able to make plays. I mean, our team has to make pretty big mistakes at this point. So anyway, continuing on with this one. Other items, I finished the Bulwark. Again, I'll highlight that. 400 health, 20 armor, 30 magic resist, and then the aura that accompanies it. So with Thresh and I both having this item, if we're together, we both get very, very tanky indeed. Very, very tanky between the two of us. Another item that I could look to get would be Spirit Massage, is also quite good on Volibear. Would be a really nice item against this team that's dealing a lot of magic damage. It gives you the what is it? More health, more magic resist, and that ability where you heal back. You get more health and more stuff from health and regeneration effects, which of course synergizes perfectly with Volibear. And oh, looky, what's up? Well, that blue buff's up again, which we claimed for the 5th time this game. Poor enemy team. Now we're just going to look to go ahead and push this tower and, you know, just dare them to come team fight us. We've got pressure mid. We've got, you know, a push going on in bottom lane. And, you know, there's just not a lot that their team can do at this point in time. Just too far behind. So, yeah, there is the double aura from Bulwark and from Aegis of the Legion right there. And at this point, we see their team turtling in the base. We've got a pink ward on Baron. We're like, well, you know, if they're just going to sit in the base, we should probably just go do Baron because they are, you know, we want to force them to come out and fight us for something like Baron. It makes more sense to try to force a fight at Baron rather than trying to dive their base. As soon as Triss gets there, we'll be in great position. Triss now has Blade of the Ruined King and Infinity Edge and Zeal. So with that Blade of the Ruined King minion passive, that will really shred through Baron super fast. We've got good ward coverage. This is what we can see right now. This is what their team can see right now. So actually, they can see us at Baron. Wow, I did not know this while playing. Did not realize they had a ward there. So they do see us going to Baron. But this is going to be a tough steal for them. So let's keep an eye on it. Wow, look how fast that health is dropping onto Baron. So we're going to go ahead and look to lock up Hecarim. He's going to get binded. Another beautiful binding by Terrible Bedhead. Uso will get the kill on the back end of that. And now we just have to make sure that we finish this. And there's really no way for them to steal it as soon as Hecarim goes down. So we will claim the Baron. And that's just about going to do it for this one. There's really not much more to say at this point. It's just a matter of finishing this one off, honestly, at this point. When you're this far ahead, 15k gold, 20 kills ahead, there's just not much the enemy team can do. So we want to look to keep pushing. That was one mistake I thought that Terrible Bedhead made. He does have the Home Guard boots, but thought probably should have just kept pushing while Hecarim was dead. Still, not the biggest deal. Should be able to continue to get this. And oh, by the way, look at this damage on Zyra. Oh my goodness. Just Tristana auto attacks now that Trist is, well, 7-2 and has her Infinity Edge. So, I mean, we're just going to push this lane and, you know, dare them to come team fight us right now. There's not a whole lot they can do. They can't really do anything. Oh, there comes the Thresh pull. Unfortunately, the Cocoon will miss from Elise, but this is still a bad fight for them. I'm not sure who exhausted Blitzcrank. That's a mistake. But down will go Vladimir. Hecarim's going to use his ult to jump away. Meanwhile, the fight continues in the mid lane. Trist gets a double kill. Volibear passive tanking that damage once again. Trist is going to get the quadra kill right here. And, oh, unfortunately not able to survive. Was not able to survive. That last tower shot finished off Tristana. I tried to use Locket to save Tristana. Tried to use Locket to save Varus Nox, but it was not quite enough. And this really should be it, but rest of the team, for some reason, stops hitting the Nexus and just starts attacking and diving Fountain and, well, not finishing off the game and doing silly stuff like this, like trying to hit Hecarim in the Fountain. And this is buying time for the rest of the team to revive. I'm just hitting the towers. But this really should be the end of the game. And it's not, because our team wasted too much time fighting. And now the hook comes into the Fountain. Nice play by the real Joe Breezy, by the way. That's 1 kill for their team. Elise will pick up the kill onto Vayne, but Morgana's down, and their team is all revived, and we really have no choice but to try and escape at this point. Meanwhile, still trying to run away, there is the Lantern. Elise is going to jump up into her cocoon form and repel. They're trying to finish off that Hecarim. He's not going to fall, though. We're turning and fighting. Not the best fight. Are we going to be able to pick off Zyra? There's the fling. She will go down, but Volibear does not have passive up anymore, and that will be a kill onto me. That will be my first death of the game. So a bit needless here. Really no reason to keep fighting that, but the game's going to go on a little bit longer. I will take the rare case of speeding this up right now because there really is not much more to say. And now Elise goes in and continues fighting, and Elise is going to get picked off, and this is just the very, very sloppy tail end of this game. So now we have to wait for everybody to revive before we can do anything. But, I mean, you guys know that this game's over. They have no Nexus towers left. This one is really finished at this point. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go back to normal speed right now as we continue to push back into the base. And by the way, it always looks so weird when there's no Nexus towers, right? It's just so weird thinking that there's no towers here. But anyway, that grab is going to hit, followed by another nice binding, and we are going to use there out comes the box. I'm going to get the kill with the Volibear Frenzy. Morgana ult coming out. Triss picks off 1 kill, another binding hit. That will finish off Vayne. Hecarim just being auto-attacked in the fountain. He will go down. Now Vlad's trying to heal, but that's, oh wow, we do lose a kill. Thresh goes in. There's another binding, and Triss just keeps on auto-attacking. And that's going to be a triple kill there for Varus Nox as he picks up his 14th kill of the match. So, delayed for a couple seconds there, but no real change. This game really was one-sided, and it all started with the initial invade. The 2 kills in the level 1 fight and the blue steal just put our team really, really far ahead. And from there, it was just a snowball. Some really nice play from Morgana. Just great bindings from Terrible Bedhead. Varus Nox was weaker initially, but of course, once Triss gets to late game, once she has, you know, a 3 or 4 item build like this, Triss is going to be super strong. And Usa just mostly stayed in top lane as Elise and just kept pressure on in that top lane. As far as me, as far as Volibear, I thought that was a pretty effective game overall. I could have played some things better, but I did end up with 10k gold. And was able to set up the team to make some plays. We were able to get Morgana Binding into Volibear Fling. We were able to get Thresh Hook into Volibear Fling. We were able to get Elise Cocoon into Volibear Fling. So some of those skills comboed together rather nicely. Anyway, this game wasn't close. I know it wasn't close, but I don't have a lot of footage of Volibear, and he is a really fun champion to play. So I thought I'd use this and put it up, and just show off another champion that some people might be interested in playing. Anyway, once again, thanks for listening, or thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great week. See you again soon. Take care.